Hey ET, this is figure skater and Dancing with the Stars alum Evan Lysacek here at London 2012.
Hey, it's Charlie, and I'm honored to be here with figure skating champion Evan Lysacek, a winter athlete here at the Summer Games. Evan, what brought you out to your first Summer Games?
Well, the big reason that I'm here in London was to make the announcement that I've decided to return to competitive skating and kick off my road to Sochi this year at Hilton Honors Skate America.
We're all extremely excited about that decision.
Thank
I
you.
hear that maybe being here and being motivated by and watching the summer athletes kind of helped, convince you that that's something you want to do. Is that true?
Absolutely. My mind was made up. I've been training for about a year now. But watching the London Games unfold and so many amazing stories from U.S. athletes and athletes from around the world has made me feel like 1,000% that I made the right decision coming back.
So since this is your first time at the Summer Games, tell me a little bit about the difference, your observations, the difference between Summer and Winter Games.
Oh, it's so different. The Summer Games feels to me like so many more athletes and so many more events, and the magnitude of it feels a little bit bigger. And Winter Games to me feels really intimate, and because there's the different elevations, the athletes are somewhat segregated. So it's fun to be here in the Summer Games and see the real unity between all the athletes and have them kind of all mingling in one place here in the city.
Tell me about the athletes here at Summer that you've hung out with a little bit, or that you've seen around.
Well, it's been fun for me to reunite with a lot of my friends and some of my Dancing with the Stars cast mates, and I've seen Natalie Coughlin. I got to hang out here at the Waldorf Dream Suite with some of the athletes from the gymnastics team. I'm looking forward today to seeing the basketball and watching the men's final.
I just want to ask you a little bit about the phenomenon of this being the Twitter Olympics. You're somebody that's really active on Facebook and social networks. This time we've seen, this has been all the media, like what athletes talking to celebrities, athletes maybe saying stuff that they didn't mean to or shouldn't. What's your perspective on that?
Well, that's a great question, and it's been a big storyline here in London, the impact of Twitter and Facebook and social media on the games and on the athletes. And in Vancouver, all of that was still building, so we weren't quite at the height that all the social media has here in London. And I think it's gone both ways. For some athletes, it's been a great way for them to get their message out there and connect with their fans and kind of get their sport a little bit more of the Olympic spotlight. And for some of them, it's been detrimental, whether it breaks their focus or like that story early on with the Greek athlete that was actually thrown out because of a Twitter comment. It can be dangerous for sure. And I think, one tool that I use is before I send something out, I think, is this something that I want to be linked to my name on the internet forever? We're all learning. Social media is still new. It's a new phenomenon, and I think that it's only going to continue to grow. And Sochi, I think, will be even crazier as far as Twitter and Facebook.
Sounds like some really good advice for our new Olympians. Let's talk about Dancing with the Stars. We now have 14 Olympians that have competed in this show, and they tend to do really well on the show, including yourself. What is it about Olympians that make them perfect competitors for Dancing with the Stars?
Well, 14 is a big number. I can't believe that there's been that many, but like you said, they've all done really well. And I think there is a slight advantage being an athlete because we know how to train, and after all, competitive dancing is kind of a sport. It's very athletic. It requires stamina and strength, and those are things that are second nature to an Olympic athlete. So watching some of my friends participate in the show, doing it myself, was such an incredible experience, and I wish the next generation of Olympic Dancing with the Stars contestants a really great experience on the show.
Speaking of the next generation, who from this Summer Games do you think would make a great contestant for the show in the future?
Good question. I have to think in terms of who my mom would want to see on the show, because she's kind of like that target demographic for Dancing with the Stars. But I think Missy Franklin has been like America's sweetheart of these games, and after Natalie Coughlin did so well on Dancing with the Stars, and Missy is kind of looking up to her as a role model, I think it would be cool to see her go on and get advice from Natalie.
How about any of the gymnasts?
The gymnasts would be great. They're good at dancing. They can put some of those like tumbling, those death-defying moves in their dance routine, and I think they do really well. And Sean Johnson obviously went on the show and did a tremendous job, and she won the Mirrorball Trophy. So I think to have another gymnast follow and see if they could repeat would be really interesting.
And of course, Sean and Apollo are going back for this All-Stars competition. Like, are you excited to see them battle it out again against each other?
Yeah, and I think it's cool that they've chosen to bring back a summer and a winter athlete to go against each other.
Allie Reisman actually said she thinks there should be a full Dancing with the Stars season that's only Olympians.
Olympic
Would you like that idea?
That'd be pretty competitive,
Yeah.
because if there's one thing Olympic athletes are, it's insanely competitive with each other. So it's a great idea. Well, you know, with David Badaya winning the gold medal in men's diving, I think that diving is going to, you know, continue to move to the forefront of everyone's mind in America. So Greg Louganis, a historic Olympian, a legend in the United States, I think would be, a great contestant on the show. And diving, gymnastics, skating, a lot of these sports that really, show a lot of refinement in technique, I think can translate over to dance quite easily.
We asked Phelps and Lochte both if they would compete on the show, and they said only if they could compete against each other on land instead of in water. In that battle, who do you think would win?
Between Lochte and Phelps, it's a really good question. My money would be probably on Phelps.
Oh, really? Okay, good. You're the first one that said that. Everyone else
Really?
has said Lochte, yeah.
Oh, all right.
He'll be happy to hear.
Okay.
Charlie here, it's been a privilege talking to Evan Lysacek, a winner athlete at the Summer Games here at London 2012. Thank you so much for taking the time, Evan.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.